Hey guys, so I've been really busy in real life and in ESO lately, so I haven't been able to release much. Now this video is going to basically be an update on my stamina dual wield build and how stamina is doing in general. So basically the changes I made to my build are I've finally gotten divines on my minor pieces, and that does seem to improve your DPS by quite a bit. I also got the Shadow Walker set now, so I'm running 3-piece Shadow Walker, and that gives 16 weapon damage and 84 stamina, which is pretty significant. I have 2 sets of this, so I have one set with weapon damage and one set with potion speed glyphs. The weapon damage is useful for burst fights, so fights that last like 20 to 10 seconds where your potion doesn't really have time to wear off if you pop one right at the beginning. But otherwise, for sustained fights and longer fights, the potion speed glyphs are amazing because you can have 89% uptime on your potions, and with the potions you'll be sitting at around 90% crit, so that's a lot more damage, and you'll also be generating ultimate like crazy. And yeah, you never need to worry about stamina either, because you'll be constantly popping potions. The only downside is it does get a little expensive. Yeah, you might notice that there's health enchants on some of these pieces. That doesn't really matter. You just have to move some points from health to stamina instead, because you'll be having more health. You got to counterbalance that. You should move all your points into stamina, or as many as you can, while still maintaining 2.4k HP if you're planning on doing AA and Hell Raw, and around 2.6 to 2.8k HP if you're doing Sanctum. Yeah, so for the weapons, I have changed my enchant. I've changed them to a weapon damage enchant, which I find gives a bit more DPS than the fire enchants, although I'll admit that the difference is pretty minimal. And yeah, now for my bars. So the first bar looks exactly like it did, except I've replaced Reaper's Mark with Piercing Mark, so that just reduces the mana cost, and I did that because you don't really get to use the benefit from Reaper's Mark much in Trials anyways. My second bar is an AoE slash prep bar, and it has, along with my Veil. So basically for AoE, I use Sap Essence to get the damage bonus, or Power Extraction, whichever morph I happen to have that day, and then Steel Tornado, and it does pretty decent DPS, especially if you drop Veil with that. And then I have 2 assassination abilities, so Piercing Mark and Incapacitate again, and the reason for that is, first of all, I get extra crit from that, so I'm doing more AoE damage, so 6% extra crit just from the pressure points passive. And also, this is kind of the bar I run into the bosses with, so I like to have those on my bar so I can apply Piercing Mark, and then I can pop Incapacitate, pop my potion, drop Veil on them as soon as I get in, and then go from there. Switch bars and go from there, basically. And then Evil Hunter, huge DPS boost in Trials, would really recommend it. Use it on any of the boss that are Daedric or Undead. And yeah, so running in, I would use, on a Daedric boss, I'd use Piercing Mark, Evil Hunter, pop Incapacitate, and then Potion, and then Veil as soon as I reach him. And then switch bars and start the normal rotation. And yeah, if I'm taking on a longer AoE fight, I'll switch out one of these assassination abilities with Siphoning Strikes, just to add sustainability. And yeah, that's about it. So now I'm going to show you guys what the performance of this build is like. So here's me with no pots and no ultimate on a giant, and that gives me around 1.3k DPS. And then here will be a mammoth with ultimate and potion. So that was 1.6k DPS. .6k seems to be about as high as you're going to hit on the mammoths. And then for first boss AA, you get around 1.5k. For second boss, you get around 1.3k DPS. Third boss, you get around 1k. You get around 1.1k if you solo adds. And then on the mage, you get around 1.1k DPS. So all of that amounts to around a 1.25k DPS average for AA, which is pretty good. And there's still more coming in 1.5. So right now, dual wield is the way to go. Two-handed is not very good at all. Bow is lackluster, and the other weapon skills just aren't on par with dual wield. With 1.5, a lot of things will be receiving some love, so that may change. But just looking at dual wield here, it's receiving a buff to rapid strikes, which is our main damage ability, and now it deals 2% increased damage per hit instead of increasing your attack speed. So this is huge. Like this could make us do some insane DPS. And also, Twin Slash is our main dot, is also getting a buff, so it's overall just doing more damage. So if you're running a stamina build these days, you're in a good place, because in a few weeks I think we'll be seeing a lot higher numbers than we are now. So it's like stamina builds are already viable, but they will be even more so after 1.5.